welcome along to another video. And if you're keeping up to date with the news, we have got a new Naval Rework that has just come into play. And I am going to, in this video, go through an overview of what all the changes look like and what you can look to expect with the new meta, because there is certainly a whole host of changes. On the screen, you can see the 5 main areas that I want to just put a little thought into. So, naval warfare, very, very important. You can probably see some new ships on screen that you haven't seen before. Eco management, there are some things that we need to look at regarding that. The way we upgrade our ships and the new technologies that are in the game, those are important. The naval civ strength and how maybe what you thought used to be a really good civ on water or a bad civ has now changed. And finally, hotkeys, always important, just to give those a little bit of a review. So starting with number 1, we have got 2 new ship lines and 4 new ships in total. So from what you would remember regarding the standard Navy battles, it was galleys beat fires, fires lose out. No, sorry. The first part here is related to naval warfare. As you can see, there are 4 new ships on screen, 2 new ship lines. And if you remember what we used to have in place, it was that your galley line would be able to defeat your demo line. Your demos were used to clean up fires, and the fires, well, were meant to defeat the galley line. Now, we have changed that dynamic, and the fires beating the galleys is still something that is meant to be in place. However, the new ship line, the Hulk, which has got the Feudal Age Hulk, the Castle Age War Hulk, and the Imperial Age Carrack, they are used as a high melee attack boarding ship type unit that beats fires. And then the galley line is used to defeat the Warhawks. So the interesting thing about this Hulk line is they benefit from melee attack upgrades. So you do need to go to the blacksmith for them, the same way you do for galleys. For fletching, bodkin, and bracer, you'll go to the blacksmith for the Hulks, for forging, iron casting, and blast furnace. Now this will certainly change the dynamics as to how you end up playing water, especially small water, and if not even large water may change, where the Hulks are certainly going to be utilized a lot. Now, compared to what we saw in Thalassocracy, there has been a change to ship speed. And I tell you now that the Hulk 1.42 is slightly faster than both the fire galley and the galley in Feudal Age. However, with the Castle Age upgrade, the fire ship gets a movement speed upgrade, whereas the other 2 ship lines do not. And in fact, the galley line does not get a ship speed upgrade at all. It is 1.36 throughout. So in Castle and Imperial Age, the fast fire ship outruns the Carrack, which does ever so slightly mean that the fires can choose to or not to engage on any fights that Carrack users will want to play. The demo ship sits to the side. That has had its attack output increased from Thalassocracy, but decreased from what was in the game previously. So you can see that 75, 95, and 120, which does mean they are in a position where they can clear up Hulks in the Feudal Age. You already have that ability. The upgrade cost is something we'll definitely go into in Section 3, but they are upgraded separately. Certainly affordable, but will have to be done separately to the other 3 ship lines. Now, the final part relating to naval warfare is that there are now, well, 4 existing civs along with the 3 new ones that get access to the Catapult Galleon, which joins as a 4th different type of siege ship. We've already got the Cannon Galleon, the Luchuan, and the Drummond. And the Catapult Galleon sits somewhere in the middle when it comes to building damage. It is a 12 range ship, is affected by siege engineers, and is not hid behind chemistry. So the cannon galleon is the only one of these 4 hid behind chemistry. So the catapult galleon for your Aztec, Maya, your 4 South American civs, and for the Cumans, they can make this upon hitting Imperial Age straight away. The second dot point here that I want to discuss is relating to our fishing ships. And our eco is now a 4th way to gather resources with fishing ships. Now, we already have the deep sea fish, we already have the shore fish, we have the oysters, which are not on screen at the moment, which came in recently. We now have whales. Whales are deep sea gold collection, and your fishing ships can go over to those. They can gather 20 gold before returning. Meanwhile, the fishing ship gather speed is actually being decreased on deep fish, and I believe shorefish as well. So what you are used to, or what you were used to regarding collection rates, they are a little bit slower than what they used to be. So do keep an eye out on that. Things are now a little bit different with how collection rates are for your fishing ships. Now the biggest change that we have regarding fishing ships, I believe, is you can now see a range mod around my dock, and that is because you can garrison 5 fishing ships now in your dock, and they will be safe, and on top of that, they will also shoot arrows. So you'll be defended at the very least in Feudal Age with the 6 range from some enemy ships, and you get to keep your fish alive for a little bit longer, which is always nice. So do keep an eye out on the changes there. Some of the new maps do have whales. Sorry, some of the maps that are in the ranked pool at the moment do have whales in them. So keep an eye on that. Maybe you can utilize that to get some extra gold income. And yeah, be aware now that when you get raided, you can throw your fishing ships into a dock and all is good. They're all happy. They can go back to work and have a lot of fun, and it's brilliant. Life is brilliant for your fishing ships. They don't have to die when you get raided. Part 3 relates to upgrading. Now, if we look at the dock, actually, if I quickly age up here, I'll show you for a moment that here we have got, and I age up once more, we can get the War Galley, Fireship, and War Hulk upgrade. It is called the Medium Warship upgrade here. And that is something available in the Castle Age. So what we previously called the Galleon upgrade, that has changed. It is now the Warship, Medium Warship upgrade that is there. We also have in Feudal Age, my bad, I've sped forward a little bit. You get fishing lines. So gather rate, 10%. Carry capacity, +5. And then gill nets that you already remember from Castle Age. That is there. And again, 10% faster, 5%, +5 carry. So that is in place. That's very lovely. And your fishing ships now work a fair bit faster than what they used to. And they carry more as well, which is important here. That is the other thing that is important. They get to carry more and they work faster. So when you're further out in the water, everything looks a lot nicer. But the big changes relating to naval warfare and ship upgrading is in the university. So we've got the Koreans here because they have a full university. And if we look at this bottom row of the uni now, it is related to water. We already had ballistics and chemistry that people would get for those, and you'd also get heated shot when you wanted to attack Navy. But now, this bottom line, you can see careening with a new icon and dry dock behind it. Both of those +1 pierce armor for your ships. You've got clinker construction, and I think the other one is carvel hull, which relates to ship speed. Shipwright is now out of the dock and here. And this last one has got siphons and incendiaries, which relates to your fire ships getting, in this case, an explosive charge attack. And in Imp, it relates to detonation. of your fire ships. So they kind of turn into demo ships as well. So keep an eye out on your civs and what civs you're playing and what upgrades you can get. Certainly the pierce armor and the ship movement speed is important for your Castle Age warfare. Getting a university in any hybrid or water map will feel very, very important early on. Not just for ballistics now, for your galleys, for all the other stuff that is at the bottom as well. So keep an eye out on the university. The last part, of course, as mentioned before, you've got fletching, you've got forging. These two will impact your units that are here. So when we see forging come in, we should see the Hulk get their attack upgrades. Now the Hulk, when they do attack, they've actually got 3 ropes. So it's 4 attack and it's 2 additional ropes that get thrown out. Which means that forging being +1 technically is +3. Which is a lot of damage when you especially consider what we'll talk about relating some civ strengths as well. So that is now +1 for each rope, but it's 3 ropes, so it's +3 damage. And the same will go on the way up as well. Fletching, same as it was before, along with the other upgrades in the blacksmith. For the next part here, we're going to look at the university in general. We're going to think about the naval civ strength. Now, what you are used to now has changed. Certain civs have lost access to ships that they previously had. Others have gained access to ships that they did not previously have. So if I think about, for example, the Romans. The Romans now get demo ships. They did not get demo ships before. Demo raft, demolition ship. The general rule of thumb is that if you get a unique ship, so in this case the Portuguese, Caravel, and the Elite Caravel, they lose access to the demo ship. So the same goes with the Koreans who already didn't have demos. Also applies to the Vikings who have gained fires but lost demos. Of course, they still have their elite longboats to get access to as well. Also noting, of course, you have the uni and different civs will have access to different bonuses in here. I think everyone gets careening and clinker construction, but carvel hull and dry dock may not apply to all of your civs. And of course, I'm clicking civs that have access to them. There you go. The 2P do not have carvel hull. They don't even get siphons or incendiaries either. So keep an eye out on what there is there. Your civ may have access or not have access to certain things in here. And that will change what is good on water at certain points of the game. So we spoke about how the Koreans here have a full university. Well, they get access to absolutely everything except for demos. So that is something to keep an eye on there, where they're just a very, very strong civ. They cover a lot of bases. The Portuguese also have an interesting change because, yes, they don't get shipwright, they don't get incendiaries, but they have their castle where they have a new unique tech, which means their ships train 33% faster. That has taken over from the, I think it was the Carrack unique tech that was +1 pierce armor, I believe. So there are the changes to your navy in terms of civs. Keep an eye out. I'm not going to go through every little different change here. Maybe we'll see some more videos relating to what we think is good and bad, relating overall changes. But you can see there's certain changes here that are now different to what they used to be. The Wu, of course, one of those civs that have had some changes. But yeah, getting access to shipwright, dry dock, carvel hull, incendiary, siphons. Have a look and see what civs get what and what you can use in different situations. And that will help determine a lot of your gameplay on water and what civs to pick. The last part will be very quick, but you can get an idea here from what you have seen with the UI. The dock is now all on one page. That also means that sometimes your hotkeys may have changed around a little bit. Now, for me, I like to just have everything in one line. I don't want trade cogs and transport ships with a hotkey because they're not really necessary. So I just have Fishing ship on Q there. Galley on W. I already had the fire on E. So therefore the Hulk was the next one on R. And then the cannon galleon or the siege ship is just going to be T. And any unique ship I've got on Y. That's all nicely lined up now. Of course, if you have hotkeys on for text, I know some people do, some people don't. You can touch those around as well, just into places that you do or do not want to use. And don't forget as well, your university needs to have either some new hotkeys will come in. I think the defaults may even have changed on some of these, so do keep an eye out on what's there before you jump into games. Careening, clinking construction, there you can see there's some hotkeys. I wanted to set them for the docks. I don't have them on for a lot of different things, but some of the important ones I have them on. And yeah, keep an eye out for that, and keep an eye out on what you want and what you don't want. Play around with it. And all the best. So yes, there you go. That is the rundown on everything relating the Naval Rework. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will catch you next time.